Hi everyone, thank you for your time this afternoon. Thanks for attending, and thanks to Eamon as well for pressing play. I had hoped to make it in person, but if this recording is playing, then I didn't get to make it in person, so it's always good to have a backup. So this talk follows on from Eamon's talk on Tutor's Time perfectly. It's about the overall TutorStack technology framework, which we've presented at EdTech a couple of times over the last few years, different evolutions of it on the higher diploma in computer science, as Eamon might have mentioned. But this talk is looking at scaling that from a pilot program right through to the entire institute in WIT. So let's have a look and see what's involved. So we know that our learning management systems are jacks of all trades, but sometimes they're not the master of any particular task. There's better alternatives out there for particular things you're looking to do. So Moodle doesn't always do everything we need it to do in WIT. Are the facilities available in Moodle, are they the best ones possible? Are they the newest, greatest technology in their area? Not always. What if I want to do a live class online? Well, I'll probably need Zoom. What if I want to check for plagiarism? I'll probably need Turnitin or Urkund. What if I want to do real-time chat communication? Well, the chat functionality that's built into Moodle is about the same as 1999 level MSN chat, the one that comes out of the box. So that's not ideal. Our students weren't even born then, so that type of technology just isn't where we should be aiming for, and isn't something that they'd be interested in, because they're using instant messaging technologies like WhatsApp all the time. And the ability to collaborate on documents in real time isn't built into Moodle naturally. So there's lots of different plugins. There's lots of third-party technologies that we're looking at as well. So really what we're looking at here is unbundling the learning management system, disaggregating the constituent parts. So the learning management system is seen as endpoints. It's a one-size-fits-all solution. It puts a nice aesthetic on it. It's kind of a walled garden that everything is inside, and isn't it great? But you also get some vendor and product lock-in with that. It might be Brightspace, Desire to Learn. It might be Canvas, or it might be Blackboard. So, what if you want to use a better product than the one that's available inside your learning management system? You're not really able to do that. So we want to be able to swap in and out better technologies as they become available. And the chat one that I mentioned is perfect. So if we're using the MSN style chat built into Moodle, it's not great. We want to move to something else, like say Slack, which we've used in the past. And now that doesn't scale for the entire institute. We want to move to Teams. Well, we're able to swap in and out those technologies to suit ourselves. And that's what we're talking about with the TutorStack. We've broken it up into 4 main layers: instructional materials, community and communications, assessment and feedback, and media and live class recordings. And this is what we presented last year at EdTech, and a simplified version the year before that. So we're looking at Tutors TS, which Eamon demoed for Tutors Time. We're looking at communications and community. Is Slack on that higher diploma in computer science on the pilot program, and we sometimes use Zoom. We use Moodle for assessment and feedback. We also use Socrative for live feedback as well. In terms of media, we use OBS streaming to YouTube live for our classes. So this isn't something that's going to scale for the entire institute. It's just not going to work. While it does work very, very well on the pilot program, it's not scalable. So we looked at scaling that, and when it came to recommending technologies to lecturers returning in September 2020, we wanted to take a deliberate approach to the technologies we used. So this is what we came up with: a pilot program versus using it for 10,000 students. We wanted to scale it for the entire institute, and this is how we did it. This is part of a handout that we had, a one-pager that we sent out to lecturers, and we also did some training sessions on it. Technology for online and blended learning in September 2020. So Moodle remains at the core of digital learning in WIT. Third-party integrations like Microsoft Teams, Office 365, Turnitin, and Zoom will supplement Moodle's extensive functionality. And that's just a sample of the softwares that we have to extend that functionality. So here you see it visualized: Turnitin, Zoom, Moodle app, Microsoft Teams, Office 365. There's other ones hidden behind the scenes, like integration with Banner and integration with Syllabus Plus to bring in all of our students from one side and all of our staff lectures timetabled on those modules on the other side. So Moodle is that core element where all of this information exists, and all of our students get onto our systems. As I say, it was the traditional endpoint. So guided by our educational award winning technology stack that we won the technology award for last year, CTEL recommends lecturers use these platforms for online blended learning in September 2020. At least this is the message we sent out to lecturers. So for instructional material, Moodle; community and communication, Microsoft Teams; assessment and feedback, again Moodle; media is Zoom. So again, TutorStack separates the main functions of a learning management system into 4 layers. Moodle has extensive functionality across all of these layers, but new technologies give more advanced features for some of the layers, and we're recommending using these technologies where appropriate and where suitable. So in terms of instructional materials, your repository of learning materials and assets given to students, lecturers can upload a wide range of content types and organise content and track students' participation in Moodle. It's great for it. It's the core of what Moodle does. And this year we've implemented the tiles format for Moodle, which has been a great success and really lays out the content in an interesting and intuitive way, where you have across the top layer you have a tile for each topic, and you can also create subtiles as well within a topic for each of your learning materials, whether it's a website link or a PDF file or a page. So you can do quite a lot of different things inside a single activity. So when it comes to community and collaboration, we looked at the different platforms available. Slack was something that we were well used to, but we found that it didn't scale to an entire institute. We found a great plugin for Microsoft Teams to integrate into Moodle, where we could have essentially a Microsoft team for every module in Moodle. So traditionally there's confusion over whether students can, or where students communicate with lecturers. Is it via email? Is it via an announcements forum in Moodle, a discussion forum, a messaging in Moodle, Zoom live class? So there's all these different areas where you can have conversations, and there's no single platform of choice. There's also no place where students can really talk to each other in a cohesive, instant messaging, media rich kind of way. So we know that learning is a social experience and communication is very important. Using Microsoft Teams, lecturers and students can get to know each other, build trust, ask questions and answer each other's questions as well. It's fantastic for peer support. So Teams will be a one-stop shop for instant media-rich communications for your module. And when you go into Teams, you can have different teams for your different modules in Moodle. Students will be able to navigate to their modules quite easily. They'll have the exact same names they do in Moodle. And once they click in there, it'll have their lecturers, it'll have their classmates, and they can have the chats and share memes and do whatever they want in there. In terms of assessment and feedback, there's a wide range of assessment methods available in Moodle. There's logging and reporting available. Moodle also provides a rich environment for feedback and grading of assessments. So taking Feedback Studio as part of the Turnitin package, it's very useful. There's many other assessment methods in Moodle as well. That's just one. And finally, from media, live classes and recordings, we picked Zoom again. Again, we looked at all of the options available, whether it's Teams, Big Blue Button, Adobe Connect, which was our legacy platform that we moved from. But we splashed out for an institutional license for Zoom because it is the best in many ways. It uses half the bandwidth for people who are in areas where they have little access to broadband, or they might have reduced bandwidth. We found that Teams, for example, has an interesting architecture where it's a lowest common denominator connection. So the worst bandwidth or worst connection or worst lag on the call will reduce everyone on the call to that level, whereas with Zoom each connection is independent, so each connection has the best possible connection available. So it made it quite easy to choose Zoom when you look at all these different factors. So Zoom's integration into Moodle made it a fantastic choice as well. Lecturers can schedule recurring meetings from inside their modules. They appear within the modules for students, and they also appear in the students' calendar. And Zoom provides a rich and easy to use set of features for live classes. In fact, before we roll this out institute-wide with an institutional license, over 420 staff had signed up for Zoom accounts of their own volition. So it was already the ubiquitous platform before we chose it. And this is an example of the integration where you have upcoming meetings that you can join or your students can join. You have a list of previous meetings with attendance. You also have your personal meeting room, and your cloud recordings are available there as well, and lecturers can publish them. So that's a really nice integration and straightforward for students and lecturers. So I just want to say thank you very much for listening to me. The slides are available for all the talks that we've done at EdTech 2020 on pete.ie/edtech, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye. Bye.